पार्लीमेंट हिल ते एक न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस विच एनडीपी आगू जगमीत सिंह ने रहन सहन ਦੀਆਂ ਵੱਧਦੀਆਂ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਰਿਹਾਇਸ਼ ਦੀ ਸਮਰੱਥਾ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਦਿਆਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਚਿੰਤਾਵਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਚਰਚਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਘਰੇਲੂ ਯਾਤਰੀ ਸੰਘੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਨਿਯੰਤਰਿਤ ਆਵਾਜਾਈ ਕਰਮਚਾਰੀਆਂ ਅਤੇ ਸੰਘੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਕਰਮਚਾਰੀਆਂ ਲਈ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਦੇ ਆਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੁਅੱਤਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਸੰਘੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਚਰਚਾ ਕੀਤੀ।
One out of every 4 Canadians has reported that they will not be able to afford their homes if interest rates continue to rise. That means Canadians will lose their homes. The government keeps on saying it's not their fault that inflation has gone up. That's a failure of leadership. What we need is action to help people right now who are struggling with the cost of living going up. We've long said that when it comes to any public health order, it should be based on the evidence as presented by the public health experts. If there's evidence for a public health order to continue, it should continue. If there's no longer evidence, it should not continue. Canadians should know what the evidence is and should have trust in institutions that the decisions are being made based on good evidence in the interest of keeping people healthy. So we've long said that if there's no longer any evidence, those public health orders and mandates should no longer continue. We need help now. There's certainly steps that we should take for the future, and we support those, and we've in fact been driving a lot of those solutions, making sure people can get their teeth fixed and their teeth looked after. That's a major cost that people can't afford, and that's why our dental care program is going to help a lot of people out. But right now, when people cannot make their monthly payments, when they're worried about their bills, when they're worried about the cost of food, they need direct financial support. And so that's why we're calling specifically for financial supports to be directly delivered into the pockets of Canadians. And 2 ways to do that are concrete, that already work, are the GST tax credit, deliver that directly to Canadians. That happens every quarter, so that's a direct way to get money into people's pockets. We're asking for that to be increased, as well as the Canadian Child Benefit, another way that Canadians receive help. That should be increased. Both of those should be increased to help people right now with their monthly budgets, with their yearly budgets. They need financial supports, and we call for that in addition to other measures to deal with the cost of living going up. Very, very troubling what happened. We had 2 sick men that there is no evidence were engaged in any sort of activity that was in any way troubling. They were engaged in a peaceful activity on the Hill to raise awareness about the plight of Sikhs in India, the genocide against Sikhs. And in raising awareness about this plight, they were arrested, searched, the turbans were removed, all on a call which was a hoax. The call was false. The call was not based on anything. And that in light of what we saw when the occupation was going on in Ottawa, when we had people that were engaged in holding up signs and flags that were related to extreme right-wing organizations, dangerous organizations, their presence on the Hill, there was very little reaction, and there was communities were hurt. The local residents were hurt because of the inaction of the police. And in this case, without any real basis, without any real evidence, 2 sick men were treated very poorly, were, in their own words, were made to feel embarrassed in front of their family, were made to feel demeaned based on a false call. That clearly shows there's a problem with the way threats are being taken. Real threats from extreme right-wing organizations are ignored, and false threats targeted towards racialized men are taken to the extreme. That is a problem, and that needs to be. Yes, I think that's a reasonable step of a course of action. It's a very serious thing to make a threat like that. It takes up police resources, it takes up time. There's a considerable people that are impacted by that. People are worried about their safety. There's a serious there's a serious impact caused by this. So absolutely, people should not be making these type of false claims. Something as dangerous as a bomb threat, and it should be something that's investigated. Absolutely.